Hi there, this video will cover everything you need to know about creating a powerful presentation. First, let's talk about the text on your presentation slides. Any text used should be easy to read. You want to think about your color choices. Make sure that your colors have a lot of contrast between your background and your foreground. For example, this bullet point is very easy to read because the contrast is high. The second, not this bullet point, has very low contrast, so it is difficult to read. You also want to make sure that you think about your font choices. Serif and sans serif fonts are the easiest to read on slides and presentations. You want to make sure you avoid any script or handwriting style fonts, as well as unprofessional fonts for a professional presentation. When text is presented on a slide, it should be through the use of bullet points. In these bullet points, you will want to highlight the main points that you are discussing while that slide is being shown to your audience. The bullet points should feature key phrases and key words. Do not use any sentences on your slide. They're very difficult for people to read. Sentences on your slide can also really distract your audience because they might try to read what is on the slide instead of listening to what you are saying. If you would like to add emphasis to any of your text on your slides, you can do so by making special words bold, putting them in italics, and changing the color of them. However, this emphasis should be used sparingly, otherwise these things will not stand out. You will want to use visuals throughout your presentation. Use them to add or enhance meaning and to keep your audience's attention. Make sure that your visuals don't overwhelm any text that you may have on the slides. Make sure your visuals are resized proportionately so they are not distorted or pixelated. You want to make sure that you vary the placement of your visuals throughout your presentation. For example, you don't want to have visuals on the left side of every single slide. This can get repetitive and boring. Make sure that you use visuals throughout the presentation and not only at the beginning or the end. And finally, if you use any visuals with text, make sure that the text is large enough and clear enough for your audience to read. Next, let's talk about movement, or the use of animations and transitions. While these things are not necessary for a successful presentation, they can be useful. If you choose to use animations and transitions, make sure that you don't pick any ones that are over the top and distract your audience, unless that is the purpose. Make sure that you pick animations and transitions that are appropriate for your topic and your audience members. You want to be consistent with your use of them throughout your presentation. And finally, make sure that if you do use animations, that there is a purpose behind them and that they really make a point or draw attention to an object that you are animating. Finally, let's talk about layout. Overall, you want to be consistent. You want your alignment of your text to be consistent. You want your font choices to be consistent. You want your color choices, both for your background colors and your font, to be consistent. And you want your spacing to be consistent throughout. However, you do want to vary the layout of your slides. For example, having text on the right side of every slide and a visual on the left side of every slide may be boring. But when you switch it up, you can really get your audience's attention. So make sure you think about those things when you're designing your PowerPoint. Thanks for watching. Remember to keep all these things in mind as you create your powerful presentation.